alternate script written by our writers, Alexander and Rob. It was an idea that Alexander had that Rob added some fun slang to and cleaned up a little bit. We like to refer to this as fan fiction that our writers write for us. So it's not necessarily canon, but it's something really fun. We also have not read this beforehand, so let's get started.
So this is a bizarro universe, for the record. This is not normal.
Oh, okay.
So this is Job Hunters, CSI, MAEWIN Capital City, the Noir. Exterior, rainy alley, night. A neon glow bathes an alley in rude oranges and electric blues, pulses of color flashing through the rain. A camera goes off with a flash, illuminating a body face down in a puddle. Tiffany stands above the medical examiner and the body. Max walks down the alley, rain running down his khaki duster. He falls in line next to Tiffany.
Nice of you to join us. Bars close early tonight.
That's real good, Tiff. You been watching stand-up again?
I watch everything, Max.
We got a cause of death?
Devin, kneeling next to the body with gloves and a lab coat, takes a sample and speaks up.
The Bulls did their best to muss it all up, but my best guess so far is a blunt force trauma to the heart.
Max gestures to a cloaked pistol lying nearby.
Then what's with the gun?
Devin pauses for a moment.
Bullets are blunt.
We got an ID.
It's one Dr. Blaine Monroe, MAEWIN medical doctor for the 7 series Safe Houses.
So no one's gonna miss him then.
Tiffany looks over to Paige, wrapped in a blanket and sitting nearby.
Guessing she will.
Max and Tiffany make their way over to speak with Paige. Exterior, rainy alley, night. Paige is wrapped in a blanket one of the cops provided her to keep warm. She looks shaken up, her makeup running down her cheeks from a mix of rain and tears.
This is Detective Caulfield, and I'm Detective Tiffany. Mind if we ask you a few questions, ma'am? Oh, am I actually?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was just a typo.
No.
Wow, okay. This is Detective Caulfield, and I'm Detector Tiffany. Mind if we ask you a few questions, ma'am?
Paige doesn't answer, staring straight ahead.
How did you know the deceased?
If Paige heard her, she doesn't acknowledge it. The very picture of shock.
The nice dog's dead! You want to tell us how that happened?
Paige looks up at him, fury underneath, then snaps back to tears.
He was going to leave her. Said he was going to leave her, and now he'll never get the chance.
Leave who?
Tiffany pulls Max aside.
Monroe was married. Seems Miss Warwick here is...
The dish on the side. Right.
Devin walks up to Paige holding a steaming mug. She doesn't acknowledge him.
You look cold. I brought you some hot chocolate.
She doesn't look up and doesn't reach for the mug. Max turns to Paige.
Pull yourself together. But don't leave town.
Cut 2. Exterior, fancy house. Day. Max and Tiffany are standing outside a fancy house. Max impatiently thumbs the doorbell. Tiffany gives 3 taps on the wooden door with her pointer finger, which emits a knock as though a human had thumped their fist full force. Footsteps approach.
I'm coming. Just a moment.
The door opens and Avery stands in a full high-end outfit. She's decked in pearls and fancy makeup, her mostly black garb punctuated with flashes of color.
Oh, I'm terribly distraught. You must excuse me. I'm not available for interviews right now. Please call my agent to schedule a time.
Avery attempts to shut the door, but Tiffany places her fingers in the door jamb at the last second. She doesn't wince or seem to notice.
We're not reporters, ma'am.
I'm Detective Caulfield, and this is Detective Tiffany. We have a few questions. Mind if we come in?
Cut 2. Interior ritzy living room. Max and Tiffany sit uncomfortably on an ornate couch, altogether too distant from their subject, Avery, who sits across a too large coffee table from them.
Please excuse my manners. I've been so inundated with interviews since the
She fans a tear coming to her eye dramatically.
accidents that I just haven't been able to compose myself.
This city may have a litter problem, but men don't trip on bullets. Your husband was murdered.
Murdered? Oh, heavens!
Avery is visibly dialing someone on her phone. She holds up a finger to pause Max.
Dawn, it was murder. Love you, ciao.
She composes herself to tears, then looks back at Max.
Please, go on.
Were you Let me try that again. Were you aware your husband was having an affair, Ms. Monroe?
What? He was having an affair?
Avery is taken to her feet, working herself into a storm.
I gave him the best years of my life, and he goes and finds some hussy on top of everything else. Now this, the nerve of that slut, Paige, what did you say her name was?
I didn't.
Avery gives a non-committal shrug, drops the act, and falls back into her seat, caught.
Fine, I'm good. I'm not that good. Wasn't gonna fool a detector. It's true you can see blood pressure?
Let's stick to the case, ma'am. So you knew he had a mistress. Is that why you killed him?
Killed him? Oh, please. If I offed him for every time he slept around, imagine the calluses. Besides, Paige was just one in the long line. He uses them and loses them.
You didn't mind?
Not if he didn't. You're quite the dish, you know. He would have wanted someone nice and strong to console me in my time of need.
Tiffany takes a phone call quietly.
Sorry, ma'am. I don't like business getting in the way of my pleasure.
That was Devin at the station. Thinks he has a lead.
Thank you for your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Interior, morgue. Stark fluorescent lighting renders the characters in harsh detail. The body of Dr. Monroe lies on the slab, a sheet drawn over him. Devin, in gloves and a lab coat, stands nearby, excited. Tiffany and Max approach.
What have you found, Doctor?
Did you bring it?
Max hands over an evidence bag with a cloaked pistol inside. Devin immediately opens it.
Tampering with the evidence.
Look! It's a C541 cloaked pistol.
C542.
Tiffany looks at him quizzically.
Modified reaction nozzle.
High-end, untraceable, but it emits a localized shockwave when fired.
Devin fires it into the ceiling.
Pew!
You lost your marbles? Give me that!
Max grabs it back from a smiling Devin.
Look!
Devin unrolls his gloves.
What?
Your cell structure is distressed around your fingers and forearm.
Exactly. It's like powder burn. But it couldn't care less if you were wearing gloves. No way to prevent it.
So you're saying whoever shot that gun is walking around red-handed?
At least for the next 48 hours, yes. After that, the cell structure will heal and your evidence is out with the breeze.
So that gives us 40 hours to catch our killer.
Interior, interrogation room. Paige is seated in a steel chair, wearing long black gloves. Max and Tiffany stand over her.
Paige Warwick. Paige Warwick, also known as Paige Swine, the Hatchet, and Paige the Trapper.
Soon to be known as the murderer of Dr. Monroe.
I didn't kill him.
File says you're unemployed, Paige. Grew up an orphan, in and out of foster homes. No job, no home.
I get by.
Seems you do, yeah. That how you wound up with a good doctor?
It wasn't really anything like that. We fell in love. He loved me. And after a time, he promised me a job if I helped him with some stuff.
What kind of stuff?
The kind of stuff I tell my lawyer and not you, chuckle duster.
One last thing, Ms. Warwick. Can you roll down those gloves for us?
Cut 2.
Inappropriate.
Cut 2. Exterior, fancy house, night. Max and Tiffany, frustration on their faces, walk up to Avery's front door. They speak as they walk.
So Paige is in the clear, no marks.
Which just leaves Ms. Monroe.
Max taps his hand against the wooden door, concerned and listening.
Wait, Max, I hear...
We hear Avery scream behind the door.
Go!
Tiffany pushes her hand against the door, splintering the frame as they rush inside, guns drawn. Interior, ritzy living room. Avery is being strangled by a masked assailant, who looks up as Tiffany and Max burst in. The masked assailant maneuvers Avery to be a shield in front, then draws a pistol and puts 2 rounds towards Max. With some difficulty, Max dodges behind a couch as debris punctuates the air. The masked assailant, outmatched, shoves Avery towards the pursuers. As soon as Avery is clear, the detective duo opens fire with their revolvers, peppering the area with rounds as the masked assailant runs. When the smoke clears, the masked assailant is nowhere to be seen. Tiffany rushes to check the area as Max tends to the suffering Avery.
They've gone.
Oh, my vocal cords! Water! Someone get me water!
Max hands her a glass of water from a nearby table.
Did you see who grabbed you?
It all happened so fast. Oh, you saved my life!
Avery plants a big kiss on Max.
All in the name of duty, ma'am.
Tiffany looks at him sidelong.
If you're gonna keep staring, you gotta buy a ticket.
Interior, office. Tiffany is sitting on the edge of Max's desk, idly throwing darts at a dartboard across the room.
I get it.
Max sits in a comfortable chair, a glass of whiskey keeping his fingers company.
We got no perp, no leads, and our window to catch the killer ends in 3 hours.
Yep.
I'd say it's that Warwick girl. Sorry. I'd say it's that Warwick gal. But she didn't have the marks from the gun.
Yep.
To which I'd say it's Avery, but...
But you've kissed any lies out of those lips. Gotta be clean, right?
Max looks at her sidelong, but Tiffany continues throwing darts with a small smile, refusing to look his way.
That, and we saw the real perp sizing her up for a necklace.
That too.
Max takes a long pull from his drink.
You know who did it, didn't you?
Yep.
Another long pause.
All right, I give up. Who did it, Tiff?
Come on, Max. It's not who. It's how.
Tiffany throws a final dart into the dartboard. It's a bullseye.
Yeah.
Like a smiley face, and that's the nose.
It like spells out the person who did it.
Cut 2. Interior, morgue. Tiffany, Max, and Devin are standing in the morgue over a body. Avery enters, talking on her cell phone.
All right, Dawn, I have to ID the body. Lunch later? Kisses!
Paige steps in, throwing a confused look to everyone, particularly to Avery.
Sorry, I was told to...
What is she doing here?
Actually, ma'am, we've solved the case.
Oh, no, I'm not going up the river again. You'll never take me alive, copper.
Paige grabs a nearby coffee mug, smashes it on the wall, and takes Avery hostage with a shard.
I never whacked no one. Those Roscoes I sold might have been... Roscoes means guns. I never whacked no one. Those Roscoes I sold might have been bent, and I might have nicked a couple of bits in my day, but I never would have killed a man. I was dizzy for him.
Actually, Miss Warwick, we know you didn't do it. We will discuss your other malfeasances at a later date.
Paige calmly lets Avery go. As she does so, Avery suddenly realizes the only logical conclusion.
You can't mean... But you couldn't... I'd never do something like that. I'd never hurt a fly. Just ask any of my friends. It just makes me sick that you'd think...
She pulls out her phone.
Dawn, it's me, Dawn. They're accusing me. I don't believe it either. We'll have to reschedule lunch tomorrow. Bye!
She hangs up.
And a widow, too. I can't believe you'd accuse me of... It's just too much right now. It's just too much.
She faints.
We, weren't about to collar you either.
At the news, Avery quickly gets back up, real confused.
Well, what'd you bring me here? What'd you bring us here for? Who did it?
Wasn't easy. They say catching perps is all about the last piece of the puzzle. We all had the edge pieces. We had all the edge pieces and the big blue part at the top all done. But this one was still looking like a Pollock painting until we found the piece in the middle. The one on the inside.
As he finishes this, he turns towards Devin.
You didn't mention you and Miss Warwick were a former item.
She ditched you for the deep pockets, didn't she?
No, it's not like that. She loves me. Same as ever. He was just in the way.
Oh no, Devin. You didn't. You killed him. For me?
Not for you. For us. I knew with him out of the way, we get back to the way things were.
Very clever to hide your cell structure damage by firing the weapon again in the lab.
Devin quickly realizes he's been made.
This is all a load of bunk. It's all circumstantial. The union will be hearing about this one.
He turns and runs. Tiffany, having anticipated this, has stuck her arm out at head level, and Devin knocks himself out. Max shakes his head. Cut to interior office. Max reaches down into his desk, pulling a bottle and two glasses from a locked drawer.
You did good work today, Tiff.
I wouldn't waste the good alcohol on me, Max.
We nailed the murderer. Can't a guy enjoy a drink with his partner?
You should keep the fancy stuff for someone who can appreciate it.
Humor me, Tiff.
Max hands her a glass. She takes it.
Besides, it's not about the liquor. It's about the company.
They clink their glasses and have a sip. End.
You knew this! I know!
We can open this on YouTube. People are just going to want us to do
all of
this.
this like into one paragraph. Yeah.